Hi guys, it's Adria. So today I am going to be sharing with you guys some travel tips. By the time you're seeing this, I'm going to be back from my trip. This is pre-recorded swag. Here are just a few tips of mine that I have. Okay, so first of all, probably my biggest tip for traveling, flying. This doesn't even really have to be flying if you're just going away on a trip. Something that I do is I make a list of stuff that I can't pack ahead of time, like my deodorant or my makeup, chargers, my retainer for my teeth, just stuff that you use all the time that you can't pack ahead. You know, it's not like packing like, you know, your clothes and, you know, stuff like that. It's stuff that you will be using until you're ready to leave. So I make a list of stuff that I need to pack at like the last minute, like right before I go to the airport. So this is something that helps me, and I just leave it on top of my suitcase. And if I put something in there, like something I have on here is my headbands, and I packed those this morning because I thought of it and I checked it off. So I put like little boxes next to everything, and then I check them off as I pack them. So that's like my big tip. That's something that helps me because I feel like I'm gonna forget stuff that I use, like my phone chargers, you know, just stuff that you use, but yeah, that you can't pack ahead of time. Okay, my next tip is, if this is like your first time flying, like, this is kind of like advice for first time flying. You are gonna wanna be at the airport at least an hour before your plane takes off, and this is something that I've learned the hard way. I missed a flight because I was late, but as I've flown more, I've learned what time I really need to be there. I'll be flying tomorrow, but when you see this, I would have already flown, so it's like time travel, yeah. Tomorrow my plane leaves at 6:10 in the morning, so I need to be at the airport by 5:10, an hour before my plane takes off. And I've calculated how far away the airport is, and the airport is about an hour drive, so I need to leave the house at 4 a.m. So that's how it goes. Something I would definitely say, especially if you're traveling alone, is to travel light. If you are the only person going on your trip, you're gonna wanna travel light because you're the only person that can carry your bag, so travel light. And I suck at this because I don't know if it's like a separation anxiety type thing, but I feel like I need to just take my entire house with me. Like, I feel like I'm gonna want something or need something and it's not gonna be there and I'm gonna be like upset. I don't know, is that just me? Where I feel like I need to pack my entire life with me, even stuff that I don't need. Pack as lightly as possible. You know, if you don't use it on the daily, on the weekly, don't take it with you. Last time I went up to visit my family, I was only there for a week and I packed way too much. Half the clothes I didn't even wear, half the makeup I didn't even use. You know, like, just pack very minimally. And the thing is, if you're staying with family, you don't have to worry about shampoo, toothpaste, towels, you know, stuff of that nature. So if you're staying with family, pack very lightly. You know, if you're staying at a hotel, even then they have like shampoo and stuff, so just pack lightly. Oh, another tip I have is I try not to check my bags at the airport. If you've never flown, checking your bag basically means you pay a fee and they take your bag from you and they store it under the plane until you land. Then you get off and then you go to baggage claim and you find your bag. I try to avoid that because one time I got scammed at the Philadelphia airport. They charged me $200 for like a 70-pound bag. And $200 for a suitcase is ridiculous, and it's small too. It wasn't even a huge bag. It was just heavy because I had a lot of shoes in it. Like, it was really just clothes and like 10 pairs of shoes. So they charged me $200. So ever since then, I've like avoided checking my bag. But if you have a big suitcase and you can't take it on as a carry-on, definitely a tip I would have is look up the airline you're flying, look up their baggage, like what they charge, because each airline's different. So know what they're gonna charge you before you go. So that way, if they're like, oh, $200, you're not like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. No, you wanna know, because I was definitely ripped off. But yeah, they charged, it was over $200 actually. I think it was like $210 for a 70-pound bag, which is ridiculous. So look up the baggage fee rules for whatever airline you're flying. Also, know what airline you are flying, and when you are booking a flight, read everything, because I accidentally booked a flight that departed from an airport in a different state. I think it was when Brandon and I were visiting my family for Thanksgiving. Our trip home, I booked that we were leaving from, I think it was like Trenton Mercer Airport. I mean, and that's like around Philadelphia, but that's in New Jersey, I think. So it was like, I was like, oh crap. And it was like a super early in the morning flight too. So we would have had to have been in New Jersey. It was like a 2-hour drive. And I'm just like, no. So read everything before you book a flight. And also when you're on your way to the airport for your flight, know what flight you're on, because airports are typically set up when you pull up that, you know, each airline has like a different entrance to it, so know what you're gonna fly. Because I remember one time I was pulling up to the airport and I hadn't looked at my ticket since I bought it, and my stepdad was driving me. He's like, oh, which airline is it? I'm like, I don't know. And we were like right there, and he was like turning, and we had to loop around the airport again and come back, and it saves you time if you know where you're going. A tip I also have for carry-on related things is I usually have like a suitcase, like a small suitcase with all my stuff in it, and then I have like my Betsy Johnson carry-on bag, but I also have my purse, and sometimes they're like kind of iffy if you have like 3 bags, although I don't think a purse should count because, you know, you need a purse. What I do is I leave enough space in this Betsy Johnson bag that I can fit my purse inside of it. That also helps me with carrying less, so I have less to carry. So if your carry-on bag can fit your purse in it, that helps. Yeah, that's what I do until I get past like security and I'm at the gate, then I'll like take my purse out, but that's typically what I do. Also, like just the obvious with wearing shoes that you can slip off really easily. You know, don't wear shoes that are laced up to your knees. I think one time I wore sneakers. I think so. I think I wore sneakers once, and it was really annoying to put them on and off. I'm gonna be wearing my Sperry's tomorrow when I fly, so, you know, I can just easily slip those on and off. Another thing is to wear as least metal as possible. I remember I thought I lost my belt the last time I was flying, because I had a belt on and they made me take it off to go through the metal detector. And then I couldn't find my belt, and I was like freaking out, and I lost a lot of time because I was looking around the security area for my belt, and I lost like 10 minutes of free time that I had, although I was early enough that I had 10 minutes, but I would just advise not like wearing like a belt if you can. But they usually don't make me take off earrings or necklaces or anything like that. You know, it'll come up on the metal detector that I have metal on me, but then you normally just get like patted down and they're just like, oh, it's your jewelry, okay, go. You know, then there's the obvious, have something to do on the actual plane, you know, have music to put in your ears, have a book. Oh, that just reminded me I need to pack my book. Yeah, have a book, have, you know, stuff to entertain you. I know one of my big anxieties with flying was if somebody around me was like puking or something, like air sick, because I don't get air sick. For me, it just feels like riding in the car. So if you don't get car sick, you probably won't get air sick. Airplanes, I don't really feel that sensation. I don't want to be jinxing myself for tomorrow, though. I don't want to be puking on the plane. One of my anxieties for flying was somebody puking around me. If you've never flown before, just know that it's loud on planes. So if you can distract yourself with something in front of you and have some music in your ears, you won't even know what's going on around you. Like, I swear, like I don't even look at the people next to me. I don't even see them. So it's not like riding the school bus where, you know, you can see everybody. You know, it's really kind of, you're just in your own little, yeah. And I fly by myself a lot, which is kind of, I feel like that's kind of weird. I don't feel like a lot of people, especially like as young as me, unless they're like, you know, college kids going home, I don't feel like a lot of people really fly alone. I feel like most people have someone with them, but I like flying by myself. I feel like it's really relaxing because you're just up in the air, no one can bother you, no one can call you into work, no one can be like, oh, I need you, oh, call me, like your cell phone doesn't work. You're kind of just in your own little thing, just going through the air. It's just, I don't know, you feel like you're just escaping the world, which, I don't know, it's kind of relaxing. Definitely have a snack and chapstick with you. You can't take water through security, but once you're past security, you can buy water. They, you know, have places where you can buy snacks and stuff, but you can't take a water bottle through the security, but you can buy one once you're through. My advice is to have a snack on you because you actually do get hungry, surprisingly. I don't know. And you should definitely have chapstick because I get really dry when I'm flying, and I feel like that's a common thing. I feel like it's just because you're so high up and the air is so dry. So definitely have chapstick and lotion, stuff like that. Maybe eye drops if you wear contacts. I don't wear contacts, but Brandon wore contacts, so I kind of just think of people that wear contacts. And if you're flying for the first time, don't be afraid to ask questions. Because I remember on my first flight, I didn't know if I was in the right place. Because once you're through the security, you go to your gate where you sit and wait for your plane. The gate is literally where the plane pulls up, and then there's a tunnel thing and you walk through that. So there's like a sitting area there, and that is your gate. So if you've never flown before, that's what a gate is. But I was questioning if I was in the right place. I'm like, am I at the right gate? I don't know, and I didn't want to get on the wrong plane. So I asked somebody. I just asked like a guy that was standing in front of me. I was like, I'm sorry, it's my first time flying, and I showed him my ticket. I'm like, am I in the right place? And he's like, oh yeah, you're in the right place. So don't be afraid to ask people. And what I've learned is people on airplanes are really cool. It's not like riding a public bus or like even a school bus or something like that. I feel like the people on there are really nice. They've probably flown before most likely, and they can kind of tell when someone's never flown before. I was like struggling to get my suitcase through the aisle, and like a guy helped me and like picked it up and put it in the overhead for me. So people on planes are really cool. You know, they'll be willing to help you. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask anything, because if you're afraid to ask a question, you might end up in Zimbabwe. So you better ask a question if you have one. If you're even questioning slightly, if you're in the right place, ask somebody, because you don't want to get on the wrong plane. Although I don't feel like they'd let you on the wrong plane, because when you're going to get on the plane, you show them your ticket. So I feel like they'd be like, oh, you're not supposed to be here. Did I get everything? Pack lightly. Have something to do. Have a list. I guess that's really it. I mean, I could make a video more in depth of how the process of flying works. I kind of wanted to do that. I kind of wanted to put that into this, but I feel like that would just be such a long video. This is more just like travel tips and stuff that I do. I could definitely make a video with, you know, how the whole flight process works, because it's really confusing if you've never done it, because my mom has never flown. And she says to me, she's like, I don't know how you fly by yourself, because it just looks so confusing. And it is confusing if you've never done it, but once you've done it a few times, you know, you kind of just are used to it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and once again, by the time you're seeing this, my trip would have already been over. So, past, present, future, yeah. I will see you guys again in my next video. Until then, panda hugs. I love you guys. Bye!